Good morning, guys, Unfrequented World, and I am currently following Stan into another Colonial site. I was here on this road a few days back looking for a spot, and he tells me he knows where it is. He's going to take me there and show me. I don't know if you guys can hear his dog barking. I forget the dog's name, but he's crazy. Every tree that they come to on the side of the road, he's trying to bite it as they're driving by. So anyway, we're following Stan. We'll be there shortly. Alright guys, we've reached the first site. I didn't bring my detector in because Stan just wanted to show me and give me some history here. This one's fairly easy to reach. And the history on this site is that it was 1870s to 1890s. The rail station was coming through here, and this was kind of like one of the end of the lines where they stopped and they were on hold to decide where the railroad was going, were they continuing, and there was a boarding house here and a few other things. Now Stan came here, and right here below me is the cellar hole of where that building would have been, and there's all big bedrock up behind me on this side here. So it's a very safe, open place, easy to build. Now, while Stan was here, he started finding 1700s nails. So we figure that this was part of the original fur trading route, and that this had been a native outpost or some kind of fur trading spot, and it was taken over eventually by the railroad. So there is, again, 250, 300 years of history at this site. Okay guys, so that stop there was just so Stan could show me that he figures there's going to be a really good bottle dump on that site. He hasn't found it yet, but later in the fall when things die down, we're going to head out and search for that. So right now I'm going to follow him further back the trail here, and we're going to get to the Colonial site where we're both going to dig. We've got about a 1.5 mile walk, he says. So, and I'm already hot because that was probably close to a mile in and then another mile out right there. So, and it's nice and muggy today. Stan is the man. He's showing me stuff here on the way in to the other site that we're going to get to later today. There's another farm area here with an old stone wall. So if you guys can see this behind me here. And he figures before 1860s. Yep. So here's part of the wall, and then all of this was the fields were down here.
Yeah, okay Gary, so I came here and I cleared this old foundation that my friend pointed out after I'd been coming here for a very long time. And I feel it's older than it's given credit for because the amount of intricacy, like this door lintel stone here. And
that's amazing. That is one huge entry stone.
You know, I think it's older than early 20s. I think it goes back to 1800s, and maybe it was used as something else even prior to that. What's wrong? Oh, I'm putting it on something that's in there. That's why.
Something right here?
Yeah. Oh, I thought I saw a can.
There it is, an old lid.
Old lid. Let's see, what's the age on the lid, buddy? Is there a screw on, crimp on? Crimp on. Right, we got an old tool. It's a tap.
Oh yeah.
What the heck? Guy running a machine shop back here?
Yeah, it is a tap.
Yeah.
Well, there's a stove lid I just dug out of here, which just on the side of the foundation hole here. And Stan's got a few nails, I got a few nails. Early 20th century, I think, flathead roofing nails and stuff like that. So, okay, Stan just brought up a really good point in trying to figure out the age of this place. He said, well, look at these trees. How old is that tree? And how old is this tree? They're pretty darn old. And they're growing right into this foundation here. So they weren't here when the building was here. So absolutely good point. Yes, you are correct, Stan. I didn't think of that. So we are probably for sure over 100 years old. It has just gotten extremely dark and the thunder is rolling behind us.
Yes.
I think we are going to get wet. I'm hiding right now. It's really coming down. Oh, now he tells me. He says find a good tree to hide under, and then he pulls out an umbrella. So I've moved back down by the stone wall, and I'm going to just detect along it, both sides, and then try the field which is out in front of me here, and see if we can find anything down here. So there's some old barbed wire, guys, dug right out of the stone wall here. So, fence line. We're just walking through the swamp, we're trudging along, we come across from here, from the old farm site there, and he says, I'm going to show you a pier, a man-made pier. Look at this. This is man-made. It's all rocky up here. It drops off 10 feet down, more than 10 feet down there on each side. And look at the size of this tree growing out of this pier. That's like a 300-year-old tree, guys. There's Stan. You can see him right there in the background.
Hey, we'll give you some perspective.
He'll give us some perspective. Look at the size of this tree.
I'm hugging my tree, Gare. I love this tree.
He says he's an old tree hugger and he's been talking to this tree for 30 years. And it's growing out of this pier here. And so we turn around, and so his theory is that they were actually maintaining dams, and so there would have been a barge here that went down, because they did, this is on the Colonial canoe route. So they would have had a dam above and a dam below, and they would have had to maintain these. And we know that they have British engineers because we've got buttons. Stan thinks that button I found in the last video was one of those engineering buttons. So as you guys can see, I'm soaked. The rain has stopped. We've walked another mile. We are back on the trail. We're about 1.5 miles from where we were in the last video. And we're going to do this end. Well, I just covered 20 feet here, not a signal. It was a long walk to get in here, and then I did get a signal, and it was a 22 shell. So I'm hoping we find something. Okay, so I've come back down to the waterway, and I've actually got a decent signal here. Signals are few and far between here. It is clean, really clean, which worries me a little bit. How's that for Colonial? I think we missed the mark here a little bit on this hole. I mean, that is an old one as far as they go, but it's not 300 years old.
And it turns orange from the parasite.
So Stan's just filling me in. He was mentioning these before we set out this morning, lobster mushrooms, and he said if you smell that, it will smell exactly like seafood, like lobster, and it does. And that's apparently from this parasite they have. But you can eat this just like a normal mushroom.
It's gourmet.
Okay, so I just pulled a lead ball out of here, and it's not a big one, but we looked at it, and Stan was showing me there is a white patina to this, which means it's very old. Probably as old as that musket ball I found the other day. So, you know, down 6 inches here. And that's the first sign we have of old occupation or trail use anyway, so something to keep us going. It's a beautiful spot in here, and look at the size of some of these trees. Absolutely massive. We're talking hundreds of years old. This area is super clean, and I'm just laughing to myself. Over there, 25 feet away, I found the lead from a 22 shell. Well, I just found the cartridge over here, so I've got the story played out. Hunter sees the bird from up here, shoots, lead goes down there, and I found them both. So after half an hour here, I'm going to surmise that we are off the route. I don't know, 300 years ago, they weren't pulling out here because there's nothing there. It's so clean. We've got to go downriver. We've got to go somewhere here. I don't know. We're not on it. Found it. I found the spot. Stands down the river there, maybe, I don't know, 500 yards. He told me he just came through the bush. I was that way. I was up there, you know, 400 yards. And he said, I think I found it. So I came back down along the edge of the marsh, and I'll show you guys what I saw. And then I started swinging and then I'll show you what I just dug up. What do you see right there? That's the trail right there. They would have came down here and put in. So I started swinging, and look, I got a signal 2 seconds after putting the down, and look what I just dug up, guys. Another Colonial era knife. 1700s British Colonial knife. I dug one of these the other day in the last video. I gotta go get Stan and show him this. I found it. That's exactly like we found at the other site. And then, like I say, when you look behind me, it's clear as day, the trail there.
Nice old one. You can just tell like that was blade. It didn't retract completely. You can see by the, you know, it's only about that wide. Actually, that's blade.
Yep.
Yeah, that's an old one, buddy. Look at the curve.
Yeah. I think I'm going to beat the grass down, and I'm just going to work right here down, from here down, and see what...
Well, it's the grass, eh? Makes it hard to swing.
You guys seen this view? This is the same view that a British redcoat was staring out at 250 years ago, 270 years ago, and he dropped his knife right here. I am so friggin' stoked right now. This is the only confirmation that I need that there is more stuff here. We just have to find it. Absolutely. 2 of these in the span of a few days, guys, blows my mind. That is real history. That is old Canadian history. Since the knife, guys, 6, 7 holes, all 22 and shotgun shell here. A little disappointed. I was excited for each one of those, thinking that each one of them was going to be another colonial artifact. Not yet. Well, I'm fairly dry in here under the pines. Here comes the second storm of the day. What is that, guys? I've moved back down the trail, and I don't know, it's really heavy. Is that more modern? You comfy, Sammy?
What do I look like, a jump or something? I don't know.
Just stay there, I'm going to sit down, Stan. I'm going to have to stop him here shortly or I'm going to lose him down the hole. You're just going to see 2 boots sticking out. Found another brass casing. We're just working the old portage trail here now, so see what else there is. Lots of wire, lots of little bits of wire.
About a 45 caliber.
Okay, well mine I think is pretty much the same. Okay guys, I just wanted to show you this shell over here, this one with the D on it. That's a big caliber shell, and it's a rimfire, which only the really old original shells were rimfire. For safety reasons, they moved it into the middle in later shells, like this one here. So you see that circle in the middle? The striker would have to hit the shell in the middle for it to go off. This one is much older and rimfire. Now the only ones that are rimfire are 22. So that has a D in it, and I'm going to have to do some research when I get home and figure out, if I can, what type of shell that is. Okay, so I got a 1700 square nail here, guys. So somebody came along the trail and dropped it. There comes the rain again, and Sammy says, nope, I'm getting up out of here into the dry. Okay guys, we just stopped to check out a trail that I noticed going through the bush here, and Stan didn't bring his detector, he left it on the other trail, and I don't know what this is. It's lead, but I don't know what the actual item is. It's got little pegs on the back, rang up solid 62. If anybody has any idea as to what that is, that has got to be 17th century, I would assume. This is the area we're in. I mean, what is it though? Definitely had a purpose with little pegs on it there. Okay, a couple of feet away, guys, and we got another piece of the same, I don't know if it's the same item or it's the same material, and look at this. I know it is because when you flip it over, there's another peg on the back of it. What was it? So I don't know if you guys can see that right there is the trail that I just walked and found that weird lead piece down. And right here is the old portage route. So Stan has kindly showed me 2 turn-of-the-century old homesteads where there are foundations and things. And he hasn't detected them yet, so he said, by all means, go ahead. So a fountain of knowledge, this guy. So I am super glad I met him. His values and things seem to line up with mine, so I can foresee many adventures in the future with Stan. All right, there it is, guys. 5 miles of hiking through the bush today, 9 hours. A A lot of small arms. I mean, I could start my own ammo depot here. Square nails aplenty, wire bits and things and everything. And the only two good finds, but totally worth making the day, you know, the old 17th century pocket knife and the mystery item, the lead mystery item. What is it? Thanks for trekking with us, guys. We're heading out again tomorrow. We've got another spot we're going to go to. Should be some real old stuff there. And I think John is back in town tonight, and he's going to join us. So stay tuned, and we'll catch you in the next video.